Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. It is now time for a math lesson. But before we go on to the math lesson, I kind of want to know how you guys did with money. Let's see. I'm going to ask what each coin is worth, and you guys shout them out. Okay? Ready? Penny. How much is a penny worth? Awesome. It is 1 cent. Okay, how about this? Ooh, a quarter. How much is a quarter worth? Awesome, first graders. You're right. It is 25 cents. Now, next one. A dime. How much is a dime? Fantastic. You are right. It is worth 10 cents. Now, let's see. Last one is a nickel. How much is a nickel? Awesome. You guys are so smart. A nickel is worth 5 cents. So now we're going to move on to something different. We're not going to do money this time, okay? We are going to learn how to tell time. So I have a few questions to ask you before we move on to our lesson. Let's see here. What is a clock? Can you tell me what it is? Okay. How about this? Why do people need clocks? So we know a clock is something that tells time. And we need clocks so that way we know we're on time to certain places. All right? That is why it's so important to have a clock around. So that way you know what time something's going to happen, what time you need to be there, all this fun stuff. Okay. So right now, I'm going to show you a picture of a clock. Okay. What do you notice about this clock? You're right. It has numbers on it. Let's count the numbers. And do you know what? When we count them, I'm going to keep on going, okay? And you guys do that with me, all right? You ready? We're going to start with 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Great. You always, when you are telling time, you always have to restart over. Because you see a circle, it is never ending. It doesn't have a point, doesn't have any of that. So you always want to keep on going as you're counting. Okay? So, now, I don't know, do you guys see these two little hands here? They are called the hour hand and the minute hand. I'm going to move this one down. The short one is the hour hand. And this long one you see right here is called the minute hand, okay? I am going to show you the words so that way you kind of know what we're talking about. So look, here is the word minute and here's the word hour, okay? So do you remember what hand I said was the minute hand? You're right. It is the long hand. I'm going to draw a long line right here so that way we remember that the minute hand is the long hand. Now look, here is the word hour right here. And do you guys remember what hand was the hour hand? Awesome. It is the short hand. So you see, I'm going to draw a tiny one. So we have the hour hand and the minute hand. Great work. So now that I have my clock here, so the hour hand tells what hour it is. And the minute hand tells what minute it is. Okay? So I'm going to show you a time here. So look, where is the hour hand pointing to? It is pointing to the 1, okay? And you see where the minute hand is at? It's pointing to the 12. So that means it is 1 o'clock. Now I'm going to show you the word o'clock. So that way, when you guys see it in your math worksheet, you'll know what the word o'clock looks like, okay? So look, here is the word o'clock. It has an O, an apostrophe, and it has clock on it, okay? So now you know what that looks like. Okay, and this minute hand, so we know that it is 1 o'clock. We know that it's 1 o'clock when the minute hand is pointing to the 12. Okay, so if it was down here, is it 1 o'clock? No, it's not, because the minute hand is not pointing up to the 12. All right, so now I'm going to turn my minute hand around, and I want you guys to tell me what time it is. Look, okay, the hour hand is pointing to the 3, and the minute hand is pointing to the 12. So what time is it? You guys are so awesome. 3 o'clock. Okay. I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to make it tricky. What time is it now? You're right. The hour hand is pointing to the 6, and then the minute hand is pointing to the 12. So it is 6 o'clock. You guys are so smart. I'm going to give you another one. What time is it now? You're right. 9 o'clock, the 9, or the hour hand is pointing to the 9, and the minute hand is pointing to the 12, so it is 9 o'clock. So have you guys been noticing something? When I move my minute hand around, do you see what the hour hand does? It's moving too, right? So I originally had it on 9 o'clock. So I'm going to move my minute hand around one time so it comes back to the 12. What time is it now? It's 10 o'clock. Did you notice? I just moved it one time around. So that means 1 hour has passed by. So let's try it again. I'm going to move it around again one time. So now what time is it now? It's 11 o'clock. And only 1 hour has went by at that time too. So I'm going to move it around again. Okay, this time I'm going to move the minute hand around 2 times. So I'm going to hit the 12 2 times, okay? There's 1. And there's 2. Now the hour hand is on the 1, so it's 1 o'clock. And the minute hand is on the 12, but it was originally on the 11. How many hours passed by? You're right. It's only 2. 2 hours only passed by. And we know this is because I moved the minute hand around 2 times to make it come back to where it originally was. Isn't telling time super awesome? I love it. So a lot of you guys have these clocks at home, but some people have digital clocks. And I'm going to show you a digital clock right now on my computer. So a digital clock, my husband uses it so he can see what time it is at night. And he uses it so when he gets up in the morning, he knows what time it is and his alarm will go off. So here's a digital clock. Here's a sample of what it looks like. Okay, so you will know what hour it is by looking at the number to the left of these two dots. Do you see the two dots? Okay, and then there's 2 zeros, okay, where the minutes should be. So to know what hour it is on this clock, it has the number 12. Okay, so it is 12 o'clock because there's 2 zeros behind it. So like, let's look at this one, for example. Look, so we know what hour it is by looking at the 2 dots, looking to the left of the 2 dots, and it says 10. But does it have a 0, 2 zeros behind it? No, so that means it's not 10 o'clock, okay? We know that it is an o'clock when there are 2 zeros behind it. So 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So see, isn't that super cool? So now that we have kind of practiced, I am going to share with you what you're going to do for your worksheet. Okay, so now you're going to go to your math packet and you're going to turn to page 373 and 374. So for this, you do not need to do number 7, okay? Because we kind of already talked about number 7. All right, so for this, you guys are going to look at the analog clock, like this one, on your page, okay? And you're going to tell what time it is. So for example, your very first one, which is already done for you, is like this. What time is it? All right, it's 12 o'clock because the minute hand, or the hour hand is on the 12, and the minute hand is also on the 12. So you know that it is 12 o'clock. So you are going to write a 12 by the word o'clock. Remember what o'clock looks like? Here it is. That's the word o'clock. Okay? So you're going to write that number right by o'clock. So you're going to write 12, and then you're going to write it on a digital clock so that it is just plain 12 o'clock when there's 2 zeros on it, okay? If it doesn't have 2 zeros behind it, then it's not really just plain 12 o'clock, plain 1 o'clock, okay? So you're going to write the 12 by the clock, and then you are going to write it on the digital clock. Have fun doing this worksheet. I want you to pause this video because tomorrow we're going to learn something new about time. Okay? Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. So today, before we get on to our math lesson, I want you to go into your packet, and you'll see in there that there is a picture of a clock with an hour hand and a minute hand, okay? Right now, before we get started, I want you to cut out that clock, the hour hand and the middle hand, and the short hand, and put something in the middle of it. It could be a little pin, it could be a toothpick, whatever you have that you can stick through so that way it actually looks like a clock. And when you cut out the clock, you make sure you put the short hand first and then the long hand on top, okay? So pause the video, cut that out so that way we can get going on to our lesson. All right, so now that you have cut that out, we are going to get started. I have here my clock to kind of show you guys what we're going to do, okay? So I want you guys to notice something, okay? Do you see how in my clock, my hour hand is red? It represents the hours. Do you see that? And look, my minute hand, it's blue. Do you see something blue on my clock? You're right. See, it's these little tiny tick marks everywhere. Tick marks here. These little tick marks each represent a minute. okay? And the minute hand must move 5 tick marks to go to the next number, okay? So let's count these tick marks to see. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now it is on the 5, or it's on the 1, and the 1 represents 5 minutes, okay? Isn't that super cool? So let's keep on going on. So to do this, we're going to count by 5s, all right? So ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Did you see what happened to the hour hand? Didn't I originally have it on 3 o'clock? So it's 3 o'clock, and then I moved it a whole hour. Now it's 4 o'clock. There is 60 minutes in 1 hour. Isn't that super cool? And we learned that each number right here represents 5 tick marks to move this. So cool. That is so cool. So now we're going to do something different, okay? We are going to move the minute hand 30 minutes, okay? So let's count by 5s to figure out what number represents the 30 for 30 minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So the 6 represents the 30, okay? And this 30 minutes is 1/2 hour. It's halfway through my clock. Do you see that? We started here and went halfway, and then I'll go up to the next half, okay? So, let's see here. Now, I want you to try this, all right? Put your clock at 5 o'clock. And now, I want you to move the minute hand 30 minutes. So now it's on the 6. Okay? Look at where my hour hand is. It is halfway between my 5 and my 6. So that way you know it is halfway through the hour. Isn't that super cool? So now if you were to see 5:30 on an analog or on a digital clock, I'm going to show you what that looks like, okay? Okay, so originally it was 4 o'clock. Show you here, or 5 o'clock. Whoops. So originally was 5 o'clock, and on a digital clock, it would look like this, right? There is a, on the left side of the 2 dots represents the hour, and on the right side of the 2 dots represents the minutes. So right now we know it's 5 o'clock, okay, because it has a 5 on the hour, and then 00 for the minutes on the digital clock. So this says 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So now we are going to move the hour hand, or the minute hand. And now I'm going to show you what 5:30 looks like on a digital clock. 5:30 would look like this. A 5 on the hour, and then the number 30 The 30 stands for 30 minutes past 4. So right now it is, or 30 minutes past 5. So right now it would be 5:30. Okay. Now, did you notice that I said the word 30 minutes past 4? There's another word that also means that, or another phrase, and it is the phrase, see right here, half past. Okay, and that means, half past means that it's 30 minutes after the hour. So half past 5 means 30 minutes after 5. Isn't that super cool? And did you notice that on here, the minute hand points to the 6, and the hour hand is halfway between the 5 and the 6. So let's say it is 7:30. Okay, I'm going to move it here. It is 7:30. Look, you know it is half past when the minute hand or the hour hand is in between the two numbers, and the minute hand is on the 6 to represent the 30. So now that I have showed you guys what half past means, we are going to now practice. I want you to use your clock, and I want you to show 3:30. Okay, pause the video, get your clock to 3:30. All right, so now I am going to show you 3:30 and see if you have that right on your clock as well. Okay, I got it. So, hopefully you have the same as me. Now I'm going to give you another one. I want you to do 30 minutes after 9 o'clock. See if you guys can figure that out. Okay, pause the video so you can get your clock ready. All right, I'm going to show you my clock now. This is 30 minutes after 9. My hour hand is in between the 9 and the 10, and my minute hand's on the 6 because the 6 represents 30 minutes. All right, now I want you to do 11:30. Okay, pause the video, get your clock ready. All right, now here's, look, my hour hand is between the 11 and the 12. My minute hand is on the 6. Isn't that so cool? It is so cool. So, now that we have practiced, it's your turn to do the worksheet. And you can use your clock if you need to help you, okay? So you're gonna do page 375 and 376. You do not need to do number 7, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the clock. And notice when I was giving you guys examples to practice, you know, so I was saying 30 minutes after, or 10:30 or something like that. You guys are going to do that too. If you look at your worksheet now, you'll see that there is a clock on top, and then there is either half past, blank 30, or blank minutes after blank, or blank 30 on there. You have to put the right number in. So for example, oh, and then you have to write it on the digital clock as well. Because remember, we practiced writing it, or I showed you guys how to write it. So the hour hand goes to the left of the dots, and then the minutes go to the right of the dots. Okay? So if you need help, you can use your clock. If you need help, ask your parents or contact me. I'm gladly to help you at any time. So pause the video right now and come on tomorrow to know what we're doing next. Bye! Hey everyone, so now we're going to move on to our next page. But before we move on, I want to show you guys something, okay? Do you guys remember patterns? Well, I want you to tell me what this pattern is. I'm going to show you. So look, there's 2, 4, 6, 8. What's the pattern between those 4 numbers? You're right. It is counting by 2s. Awesome. You guys are so good at this. Okay. Now I have my next pattern here. 5, 10, 15, 20. What's the pattern there? You guys are so awesome. It is definitely counting by 5s. Fantastic. So, today we are going to continue with learning about time. And I have something pretty cool to share with you. Did you know that clocks also have patterns? So cool, so cool. So let's get started. So I'm going to show you a pattern and I want you to write it down, all right? So I'm going to get this up here. Okay, so here, I'm going to show you guys. Oh. So right now, what does my clock say? It says 12 o'clock, and I'm going to write it down. You guys write it down too if you need help. I'm going to write it down like a digital clock. So look, 12, the hour, and then the minutes. Okay, now, here's my other one. What time is it now? It is 12:30. You guys are right. 12:30. So I have 12, 12:30. Now, I'm going to move it again. What time does my clock say now? It says 1 o'clock. Now, I'm going to move it again. Now, what time does my clock say? It says 1:30. So, do you guys see this pattern here? So it goes 12, 12:31, 1:30. This pattern is called a half-hour pattern, okay? And you can notice because it is going by the half hour. Because remember how we learned yesterday about the half past or 30 minutes after or just plain old blank 30? So this right here is a half-hour pattern because it went through half my clock. Did you notice the minute hand? I would write it. So I'll start at the beginning here. So I'd write it when it was at the 12. And then it was 12:30. It went through half my clock. And then it went through half my clock again. And then another halfway through the clock again. So 4 times it went halfway through. So that is a half-hour pattern. Okay? And you can see it goes every half hour. So 12, 12:30, 1, 1:30. Okay? So, now, here is what you're going to do. We're going to practice writing a half-hour pattern. Okay? So I am going to show you the times, and I want you to write it down on a separate piece of paper. Okay? Pause the video right now if you do not have a piece of paper with you. All right, so here is my time here. I want you to write down 4 o'clock. Okay. Now, write down 4:30. Okay. What's the next time? Write that next time down. Now, got that done? Now write it again. What pattern did you guys make? You guys made a half-hour pattern, didn't you? Isn't that cool? So now I'm going to show you another pattern. This is called an hour pattern, okay? So let me erase here, and I'm going to show you guys an hour pattern. So my clock right now says 6 o'clock. So I'm going to write 6 o'clock. And now my clock says 7 o'clock. So 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I'm going to get this ready again. And look, now it says 8 o'clock. And last one for the pattern. Now this one says 9 o'clock. So I just made an hour pattern here. So do you notice? Did you notice something? So on the digital clock up here, it says 6, 7, 8, 9. And there's only zeros in the minutes on the right-hand side of the 2 dots on the minute side. So, did you notice something? I would move my hand all the way around, the minute hand all the way around to make it to 60 minutes. So what would be the next time in this pattern? You guys are right. It would be 10 o'clock. Now, what about the next one? You're right. It's 11. Okay. So right now, I'm going to give you guys some numbers here, okay? I'm going to write it in the digital clock, and I want you guys to tell me what the pattern is, okay? Oh. Okay, so there it is. What's my pattern? You guys are right. It is a half-hour pattern. Now, what comes next in the half-hour pattern? You guys are so awesome. It is 11:30. Great, great job. So now I'm going to write another one up here for you. Let's see if you guys can get this one. Oh. Okay. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. What's the pattern? You guys are awesome. It's an hour pattern. What comes next in my hour pattern? You guys are rock stars. You are rocking at this right now. It is 1 o'clock. You guys are so smart. This is you guys. If you guys got all that right, you guys are going to get this right on your worksheet. You guys are going to rock at this. So, now, you guys are going to do page 373 page 377 and 378, okay? You do not need to do question number 4. And you do not need to do questions 9, 10, and 11 because we haven't talked about that yet. So, for this sheet, you are going to write down you're going to look at the pattern and then you're going to write it down below and then you're going to circle if it's an hour pattern or a half-hour pattern, okay? Super easy, super easy. And then once you get done with that, whoops, I got my wrong sheet up here. You guys, once you get done with that sheet, you are going to choose a game from the online website that I gave you to practice telling time. Isn't that so cool? Pause this video and come back on tomorrow to watch my next lesson. Bye, friends. So today we're going to do something really cool in math today. But before we get on, I would like you guys to tell me what pattern that I've made. Okay? So I'm going to start at 2:30. Now it's 3 o'clock. 3:30. Now it's 4. What is the pattern that I just made? You guys rock. It's a half-hour pattern. Now, what time would be next? You're awesome. 4:30. You guys are smart. Okay, so now, tell me what pattern I'm going to make now. I'm going to start at 4:30. 5:30. 6:30. What pattern did I make now? I can't even trick you guys. You're right. It's an hour pattern. What comes next? All right. 7:30. I can't even fool you guys. You guys are so smart. Okay. So now that we have done some review, we're going to move on with our lesson. Okay? Move my clock back up here. So I'm going to give you guys a problem to solve, okay? I went on a walk at 1 o'clock because I like going on walks. And I finished my walk at 2 o'clock. How long did it take me to go on my walk? Okay? So now, right now, I want you to get out your clock, okay? And I want you to have the minute hand on the 12 and the hour hand on the 1, okay? We are going to count by 5s, because remember, each number represents a minute, 5 minutes, okay? So, ready? Here we go. Let's see how long it took me to go on my walk. 5, 10, do this with me. Hopefully you're doing this with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We're going to stop right there, okay? So, remember, the 6 represents 30 minutes past the hour and or 1/2 hour. Okay, there it is. So I did go on a half hour, so now let's do the rest. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Let's look. It is now 2 o'clock. The hour hand is pointing to the 2. So, how much time has passed from my walk from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock? Because you're right, it was just 1 hour. I went on a walk for 1 hour. That's how long it took me. Awesome. You guys are so smart. But now, I have a new one for you. We're going to start at 1:30. I started cleaning my house at 1:30. And I finished cleaning my house at 2:30. How long did it take me to clean my house? Okay, I'm going to move this back. So, the hours, we're going to say the hour starts here. So let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So from 1:30 to 2:30, that was 60 minutes. So it took me 1 hour to clean my house. Isn't that super cool? Just 1 hour to clean it. So an hour is actually a length of time that can be figured out from any given time. Because I think I probably confused you guys because I started here counting by 5s, right? Instead of 35. Okay, so the hour does not always have to begin and end at the 12. It can be at any different number here. So let's say it is 3:35, and an hour past that would be 4:35. Okay. If you have any questions on this, please call me because this might be a little confusing. Or if your parents could help you out, ask your parents, okay? But an hour can start at any time of day, all right? So, now that we have done examples, I am going to give you one, okay? So, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, here. I'm going to do the one that's on your packet here. A duck starts to swim across the lake at 10:30. Okay, 10:30. Right. It reaches the other side at 11. How long does the duck take to cross the lake? So from 10:30 to 11. All right, so it is actually 1/2 hour because remember when you cut this in half, this is another half of the hour. Okay, so I'm going to give you another one so that way you can try it out, okay? Okay, I started giving Kyler a bath at 6:30. I got him out at 7. How long did Kyler take a bath for? Use your clock to help you out. You guys are so smart. He took a 1/2 hour. So remember, it started at 6:30 and went up to 7. You guys are rocking at this. I don't know what's going on. You guys are just awesome. So now you guys are ready to start your packet. Okay, you're going to do page 379 and 380. Okay, you do not need to do number 3. Okay, so what you're going to do is you are going to look at the 2 clocks that are given. You're going to write the time of them down below, and you're going to determine if it was an hour long or a half hour long. Okay? So, like, for example, your first one, if you look at your page 379, your thing at the side says pick a basket of apples. They started at 6 o'clock, so you're going to have to write 6 o'clock down below. And then ends at 7 o'clock, so you're going to have to write 7 o'clock down below that clock. And then you have to circle a half hour or an hour, okay? So once you get done with this page, you and your parent are going to use your clock, and you're going to practice telling time with your clock. How cool is that? Okay, good luck. Call me if you need to. Email me. Send me messages. I am free. Okay? Bye, friends. Hey, everyone. So today we're going to do something super cool in math. All right? I want you guys to actually put your heads down when I say go, and then raise your hand up when you think a minute has gone by, okay? I'm going to set my timer, and I want you guys to guess how long that minute really was, okay? Let me see here. Oh, I gotta get my clock going here. Ah! All right, on your marks, get set, put your head down. Remember to raise your hand up when you think a minute has gone by. I will let you know when the minute is up, but you estimate when a minute has gone by. All right, a minute has just gone by. How many of you just raised up your hands? And how many of you raised up your hands before the time was? Okay, well, all right, so now we're going to try it again, okay? Let's see if you guys can better estimate how long 1 minute has gone by, okay? Ready? On your marks, get set. Put your head down. Raise your hand up when you think a minute has gone by. All right, A minute has just went by. Hopefully you guys raised your hands just the last few seconds, okay? So, like I said, that is about a minute. What do you think you could do in a minute? Okay? I'm going to give you some examples of what I can do in a minute. I can brush my hair in a minute. I can put on my shoes within a minute, including my socks. If they're, heating up leftovers, I could do in a minute. Making my bed, I can do in a minute. What are some things that you guys can do in a minute? Talk about that right now. Think of some things that you can do in a minute right now. All right, so now that you have thought of some things, I want you guys to think of some things that you could probably do in about an hour. So like some good examples on what I can do it for an hour is go on a walk. Cleaning or folding laundry sometimes takes me an hour because I have a lot of laundry I gotta do. Baking a cake can take an hour. What are some things that you can think of that take an hour to do? Okay. You know what? If you want, you can send me what you normally do in a minute, and you can send a message to me about what you can do in an hour, all right? Because those are some pretty cool things. I would like to really know what you guys can do within an hour and in a minute, okay? Now I want you to go to your packet, and I want you to turn to page 381 and 382, okay? So for this page, you do not need to do number 5 because we already did that. We named things that we can do in about a minute, and we named some things we can do in about an hour, okay? But you can do the rest of these, okay? All right, so what you're going to do with the sheet is you are going to circle how long it would take something to do. So, for example, if you look at that number 1, it says baking a chicken. Does baking a chicken take a minute? Absolutely not. It would still be frozen in a minute. It would be an hour. So you're going to circle an hour, okay? And you're going to do that for the rest of these activities. You're going to think how long you can do, or how long it would take to do these items. This is going to be super easy. You guys are going to get this done so fast. I know, you guys, because you guys are so smart. You're the smartest first graders I ever know. So now, when you're done with that sheet, you guys are going to, let me see here. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. I believe you guys are going to go on the website and play some clock games, okay, that I gave out, all right? So I hope you guys have a fantastic Monday, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, friends.